Ignore the truck behind me. This is not the truck you are looking for. It's just a project I'm working on the side, so we may or may not see any video on that. You might not. I think the guy that owns it would probably like to see some video on it, so maybe we will. I have been filming a few things anyway, but for now, let's get back on that Subaru Brat. We got to get that nose down, get that body attached, get the frame locked into position. So let's hop to it. Okay, we are back. The fan's going. I'm not going to turn it off because it's blazing hot in here, so you just have to deal with that little hum in the background. But we've gone ahead and clearanced the side here on either side of the body, clear the frame, and we've got our guide set up for the plasma cutter. We're going to basically cut the frame between right where those two holes are on either side, just to keep it kind of even. Not that it matters a ton. And then we'll start modifying this thing and getting the body set in place. You can see our new brackets are tacked in place, and I've cleaned up all the rest on the inside. Let me get my finger out of there so it can focus. On the inside of the frame, so there you go. Yeah, so let me get you guys set up on that there tripod and get to it. All right. Okay guys, so as you can see, we've cut through 2 of the 3 sides of the frame rail. We've done that on both sides. And I've got the front of the frame rail supported on jacks. Sorry, get my finger out of there. Got one there and one here. And the back is bolted down in 4 places. You may not be able to see it, but we've got a mount there where it's bolted down on either side. And then you probably saw the mounts we put in right there. So we've got the body supported with a hoist and those 2 jacks. And the plan now, first I got to level a few things and get everything out of the way. And then we're going to bend this frame to make the body fit correctly. So let's do that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to drop the jack and see if the frame rail holds integrity. It should be an 1/8 inch plate on the top. Sorry, I was raising my voice as I walked away from the camera. I forgot I had a microphone on. All right, so I'm going to start lowering this and let's see what it does. It should open up just a wee bit. Okay, there's no pressure on it there. So I'm going to set it about a 1/2 inch low there. All right, so here's the plan. The reason I did it this way and left the top is what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the front of this body and bend the frame right here to bring the front part of the frame down more level and to get the front part of the body to cover up some of the frame and get down to the height it needs to be for the engine to look correct. So we gotta make sure we're still leaving room for our feet and all that stuff too. So I guess let's start lowering the body and see if this opens up like it's supposed to. All right, let's see what she does. She's opening up. Nice. It is opening. All right, that's what I wanted. Wanted the body to control the opening. So now let's Drop this down a little further again. I'm always showing you guys my ass. Oh, okay, that's all right, where are we at? Now, I still don't know if we're going to end up extending the nose here or how we're going to be doing this, but at least this lets me see kind of what it would look like this. That's pretty good. So that looks pretty good. I think the thing I'm looking at the most right now is where it's going to leave the engine as far as sitting out of the hood. I think we can come down just a hair more, but we're pretty close. All right, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put this up against the bottom so it doesn't move. All right, now let's get in here and actually, let's do this first. Let's check our feet. Because the other issue is that the more the body tips, the further the seat moves away from the back wall. Because the headrest is hitting it and the wall's not going straight up and down anymore. So we're still a little low. But I'd call that plenty of foot room because it puts the pedals up in this area. Actually more like this. But like I said, the seat's got to come up a bit. I got that much space above my head, so plenty of room there. This seat could come up. We could drop it a hair more if I really, really needed to. The reality of it is this bottom dash panel, which is this shelf right here, under here, that shelf is pretty low, and it could be raised all the way up to the cow. You know what I mean? We could gut all that out if we really needed to. And yeah, we could cut all that if we had to. So I can mount the pedals up higher, have them land up in this area. I think we could come down another 1.5 inches or 2 inches, to be honest with you. I don't know, I think we need to go a little lower with it. It's a pretty radical angle already, but I think we can go a little bit lower. Now it is at a 5.5 inch ride height. So we could lower the front a hair to get more angle, but I'd like to kind of leave it where it's at and not lower the front so that we have good suspension travel and geometry. And yeah, I think that would be a good thing. I think maintaining that suspension geometry at the 5.5 inch height is the way to go. So let's let's drop it a hair and check it again. All right, let's go just a smidgen lower. See what that looks like. I like that a little better, actually. Plus it tightens up the wheel opening. If we're to slide this forward, well. All right, let's hop in it again. Floor will probably end up about that high off the frame. Doesn't leave us a lot Man, I don't know that I can go any lower without really interfering with being able to drive the thing. So we still gotta be able to get pedals in it. I don't want to have to drive with my knees in my chest, but that may just be what we end up having to do. I'm a mile from the rear window, so if I put a low back bucket in it, I could slide the seats back a little. That would help a lot, because this is tight. This is tight, and I'm a little dude. So, I don't know, man. It's an important decision, guys. If I don't get this right, and it's all welded together, then we're stuck with it. The advantage of dropping it more in the front is it exposes more engine, and it covers the frame rails better. But flip side of that is it's someday going to get side pipes put on it, I suspect. Not 100% on that yet. It's either going to get side pipes, which will hide most of the frame, or it will get a frame modification to hide more of the frame. I can still do the 4-inch box section of frame to gain us a little more real estate, and I don't want to. I want to kind of just use the frame the way it is. But we can also build our new rocker panels, and since these are all Swiss cheese and falling apart, we could make the rocker panels like an inch deeper. Honestly, we could make them a little bigger so they drop down an inch more or 2 inches, and that would pretty well cover the frame as well. So we got options as far as hiding the frame. So really the important part is what's going to make the engine look right and give me room to put pedals and stuff in here. And it's really tight, guys. I don't know if you can see my foot in the camera there, but I can only go up. I mean, if I come up an inch to allow for the floor pan, I've only got like that much room before I'm hitting the bottom of the dashboard. Pedals I'm not as worried about because I can always run the pedals under the floor if I have to. My buddy sells a throttle pedal that takes up almost no space. I could run one of those. It actually goes through the floor and has the actuator on the bottom side. So if that's over here, that'll clear everything over here just fine. I can dangle the brake pedal. I can dangle the clutch pedal. What I'm trying not to do is there's a VIN number right around here on the wall here. And I don't want to cut that VIN number out or cover it up. So I can't just gut this whole thing yet. But I can gut some of it if I need to get pedals in it. And that's maybe what we end up having to do. All right, well, you know what? I kind of like it where it is. All right, I'm going to tell you what, guys. I'm going to turn that camera off, and we're going to think about this a bit more before we finalize anything. You know, here's the reality of it, too. If I really needed to, I could put some spacers on these front body mounts that I already made and lift the body up a little more to bring the body back up, because I kind of like to get that frame angled down a little more. I want to make sure I have good suspension geometry on the front, even though we're kind of destroying it in the back. Which is fine, because this thing will get ladder bars someday, is the plan anyway. But I want to make sure I can get proper caster adjustment out of the front here. And honestly, it looks like we're already looking pretty good on the caster just where it's at. So, I don't know. I think that's pretty good. It hides some of the frame, not all of it. But it's not the end of the world. All right, party people, I think we've decided to go with this. Pretty steep angle, but I think that's going to be just right as far as where everything's going to line up. If we follow that line down, that's going to be pretty close to the top of the tire. So we got an issue there, perhaps. May have to pull the tires in or get smaller front rims. I don't know what we're going to do yet there, but I think we're pretty good there. The frame isn't completely hidden, but it's definitely better than it was. We still got a bit of room in here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and weld some braces in here to keep that opening from moving. And then I'm going to weld these stands in to keep this front located where it is. Those are not obviously permanent mounts, but it'll lock the body into position between these two weld points and the 4 mounts we have back here. And then, yeah, we should be good at that point. So that puts our engine, as you can see, pretty a good amount above the hood line. The fender is going to end up pretty low. I think we're going to end up with about this much of the engine showing. So at the front edge of the fender, the front of the whole tunnel ram will be sticking out, which is good because it means when it's coming down the road, you're going to see a whole bunch of engine. So Let me get welded up in there and get everything situated. Then we can take the hoist out. We can roll this thing out and clean the garage up real quick. And then we'll roll it back in and get going on whatever we're doing next. All right, people, it's mounted. The body anyway. That ain't going nowhere. So now I don't have to worry about it flying off on the freeway. Now the tire's totally in the way of the fenders, so I don't know what we're gonna do there yet. Again, we got about 2 weeks before we gotta load this thing up. So I have a lot of things I need to do. I need to cover up all the, need to cover this whole engine up so nothing gets into it, especially moisture, in case I hit some rain or something on the way over. Because that's a freshly machined, ready to go engine block, and I don't want to get messed up. So I've slathered the inside with red grease, so all the machine surfaces should be okay. But yeah. Woo! So I'm gonna start bolting things on the engine. We need to get the engine situated though, so I might work on that next. Yeah, I'll probably work on that next. And then I'll roll it out, clean the garage up real good, roll it back in, and we'll keep going on it. All right, so there it is. It is sitting on the frame. We've got some stringers put in place to hold everything locked in, so where the body won't move or twist or tweak or do anything goofy, we've locked the frame in position with by welding a couple little tabs into it. And now we're ready to get going on locating the engine properly and finalizing some things there, and then we'll get that front end on this thing, because getting the front end on there is going to probably raise as many questions as it answers. So I'm really looking forward to getting to that. And we got to get all that done before the No Name Nationals, which, as you know, we already did, and this is later. So anyway, thanks a bunch for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that stuff that helps the algorithm out and helps the channel. I really appreciate it. And until we see you guys next time, take care of yourselves.